We have a lot of great information to share with you this evening about the grass replacement program, all the resources that are available. There's some there's some free resources that I think you'll be very interested in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first few slides are on West Basin Municipal Water District, and that's where I work. My name is Gus Meza. I'm the Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst here at West Basin. My presentation is going to be about 15, 20 minutes or so. It's a lot of information, so you may want to jot some stuff down as we go along. If you have questions along the way, you can put those in the chat and we'll check them at the end. And we also plan on opening the mics up at the end so you can ask questions and I'll try to answer those. And if I don't have the answers, I will research and get the answers and get those out to you. So yeah, Andrea is assisting me with the Zoom here. I think she contacted all of you. She's with the South Bay Environmental Services Center. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay, so our mission at West Basin, as you can see here, is to provide a safe and reliable supply of high quality water to the communities we serve. Next slide, please. Part of our mission is, to protect our existing water supplies, to diversify and augment our water supply portfolio, and to innovate and prepare for the future. Next slide. West Basin, we're governed by an elected 5-member board of directors. Each director represents a division within our service area, and we recently had a director retire, so in Division 1. So we're there, the rest of the board is currently working on appointing a new director, so that should happen within the next month or two. Next slide, please. This is a map of our service area, which is divided into 5 divisions. And as you can see here, it covers a large portion of the South Bay. We go as far north as Malibu and Topanga. And so we were created in 1947 by a vote of the people to help bring imported water to this area. So we purchase water from the Metropolitan Water District. They're the ones who bring it from the Colorado River in Northern California. And so we do have groundwater in the area, but it's not enough for all the people and businesses that we have. So we have to bring in additional water sources. And in the city of El Segundo, we also have our Edward C. Little water recycling facility, and where we turn basically sewer water back into drinking water, reusable water. And so we do that in the city of El Segundo. So if you ever get a chance, we provide free tours there. So come visit us. Let's see. Next slide, please. Okay, that's enough about West Basin. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the grass replacement rebate program. And so next slide. So for the grass replacement rebate for residential, you can receive anywhere from a $3 up to a $6 rebate. And as you can see here, rebates, they start, at $3. It all depends on where you live or where your business is at. And I'm going to show you in a few slides how you could find out your exact rebate amount that you can get. You'll need to have a minimum of 250 square feet of grass, which is a 10-foot by 25-foot area of grass, and a maximum of 5,000. That's for residential. But if you do have less than 250 square feet of grass, you can still qualify and participate. You would just have to remove all that grass if it's less than 250 square feet. Next slide, please. In addition to the grass replacement rebate, you can also get an extra $100 rebate per tree, and this is only for residential. And so this is for up to 5 trees. As you can see on the slide, the tree must be planted in the project area. The grass rebate, the program requires you to plant 3 plants within every 100 square feet. So every 10 foot by 10 foot, The program requires you to plant 3 plants, but you can use a tree, a water efficient tree, to meet that requirement of 3 plants, which is nice because if you don't want to have just plants in your landscape, you can actually have some trees, up to 5 of them, and receive $500 extra on top of the grass removal rebate. And that the tree rebate, that's only for residential at this time. Maybe in the future they'll change that to businesses as well. So you can learn about the trees. I'm not a botanist. I don't know a lot about these trees. I know I did copy and paste some of these in here in the slide. We have, like you can see, a Palo Verde tree. There's a Western redbud. Some of these are really beautiful. Coastal live oak. And there's a big list of trees that qualify on this website. It's bewaterwise.com, as you can see there. So that's where you go to learn more about the tree rebate. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to go cover 3 steps on this whole program that hopefully will simplify things, because I know it can seem really complicated on how to participate in this program. So step 1 is to measure your landscape. You'll need your grass area. You'll need to find out how many square feet of grass you have. And I'm going to show a few different ways you can do that. Next slide, please. Here's a simple example of how to measure. You can see the green area. So you can use like a wheel, measuring wheel, or you can just walk it off with your feet. You could count, in this one here, it's 100 feet by 20 feet. So all you do is just multiply those two, 100 times 20, and you get 2,000. So you have 2,000 square feet. Now let's just say you're going to get $3 per square foot. So you can expect somewhere around a $6,000 rebate at the end to help pay for your project. That's just one example. Let's see here. Let's go to the next. Okay, hang on a second, Andrea. So like the notes state here, you're going to need to identify and measure all the grass areas that you want to remove. Any existing planters and trees or bushes are excluded, and those can stay in place. We're only looking for the grass areas. That's what you're going to get the rebate for. You could still, redo your whole landscape area, but they really they're only going to pay you for the grass area, because that's where the water savings is going to be. Next slide, please. For those of you that are really computer savvy, let's see, Andrea, next slide. Yeah, for those of you who are really computer savvy and use Google Maps, Google Earth, instead of walking it off, you can use technology. You can go use one of these programs and the tools that they offer. This is a bit more technical. I know you can use some of the tools. You can, like in this area, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little green area down there where you can kind of like draw a box around, and it could tell you how many square feet more or less you have. That's another way. Next slide, please. But to make it even easier to get this information, we recommend that you you go to bewaterwise.com, because right now they're offering a free landscape survey. Somebody will actually come out to your place for free, and they will check for leaks. They'll check your system. They'll measure your grass. They'll provide you all this information for free. You just go to bewaterwise.com. It's a little hard to see there, but there's a link, www.waterefficiencysurvey.com. That'll take you right to you can get to it through bewaterwise.com. Just look for the free landscape surveys, or you can go right to it with waterefficiencysurvey.com. And there's also an email here if you have questions, mwd at waterwise-consulting.com. So I really recommend contacting. This is a program that's being offered through the Metropolitan Water District. So it's a great program, great free program. and they'll provide you with your square footage, which is needed to apply for the rebate. Next slide, please. Okay, now that you have your square feet for your grass area, you'll want to find out, okay, so how much money can I get back? And so you'll go to this website here, and it's socalwatersmart.com. This website is where you're going to estimate your rebate, and it's also the website where you're going to apply for your grass replacement rebate and the tree rebate. This is the website where you do all that. So two major websites, and I apologize for providing too many websites, but the first one was bewaterwise.com, and that's for the free landscape survey to get your measurement. Bewaterwise.com. Thank you. And then this other next website is where you go to apply for your rebate and to estimate your rebate. So I hope that makes sense. Next slide, please. Okay, so now the second step is you're going to design your landscape. So for step two, yeah, you're going to need a landscape design. So you want to think about, will you be designing it yourself? Or will you be hiring somebody? Or better yet, West Basin, we actually hired a landscape designer, professional landscape designer called Swazer. And in the next month, they're going to be able to provide free landscapes designs for residents. So contact me out, and I'm going to provide you my information. If you're interested in getting a free landscape design, which is also needed to apply for the rebate, you can get that. You can email me or contact me, and I'll make sure we get you on the list for a free landscape design, which is it's a great deal. Landscape designs, they could be $1,200, $1,500, or more for a professional landscape design. So at West Basin, we do go after federal, state, and local funding to make our programs very cost effective. And that's why we're able to offer these services, is because we go after these grants and funding. Next slide, please. So you're probably all at different stages of your project. Some of you may just be gathering information. Maybe you want to do something. Maybe you want to remove your grass, conserve water, save money. Some of you may have already a design and you're kind of like ready to go and you're ready to apply for the rebate. So you may be at different stages here. So you want to think about that. Do you want to do the work yourself? Do you want to hire a landscape contractor? Or do you maybe want to hire somebody to remove the grass? Because that's kind of the hard part. And then maybe you want to do the plantings and all that to kind of reduce the cost of your overall project. So you want to think about those things. And at Be Waterwise, you can see here, they have information on landscape professionals, landscape contractors that can install plants and, mulch and create the landscape that you want. So yeah, you want to think about those things. Of course, it's going to cost more if you're going to be hiring a landscape professional to do this for you. And I would really recommend getting 2, 3 quotes from some of these contractors. I've seen the cost anywhere between $10 a square foot to $15 a square foot. And so if you're getting, $3 or $5 per square foot back, then you'll have to, pay for the rest yourself. So you want to think about these things. If you do it yourself, I've seen folks pay $3 to $6 a square foot if they do it themselves to purchase the materials and do all the work themselves. So these are just some things you want to think about for your project. Next slide, please. Here's some other information to know about. Synthetic turf is not eligible. We're looking for native plants, drought-tolerant plants, kind of a watershed approach. We want, to capture rainwater, infiltrate into the ground, to help the bird and insect species And so that's the intent of this whole program is to help conserve water that way, a more natural way. Um, so let's see. Okay. So there's over 1,000 eligible plants and trees and shrubs that can be included in your landscape design. So again, you see that website, bewaterwise.com, and they have a list of plants and gardens. And the other site is that calscape.org. They have a garden planner there, website. These are great resources. Next slide, please. They have list of plants. They have provide great details on plants, whether they, how big they'll grow, if they need, shade, sun, full, So yeah, it's just a lot of information on these websites. And then you can use this information if you like the plants. You can check the local nurseries to see if they sell these plants, maybe at certain times of year. So you would definitely want to find out about that as well. Next slide, please. I mentioned like the whole watershed approach, and so that's why they're requiring a stormwater capture component feature to your landscape. This could be a vegetated swale. It could be a dry creek bed, it could be a rain barrel, a cistern berm, a rock garden. One of these you have to include in your design. Next slide, please. So here's an example, beautiful landscape. It looks like they have like a rock garden, a dry creek bed there on the left. Of course, this is going to cost more money, but it can be as simple as just adding a rain barrel, like on the picture of the right. And that's another beautiful landscape. If you can, if you see there, they did a great job there on that design. So it just has to include one of those elements in your design. Next slide. Here's an example of someone's design. Like I mentioned, it doesn't have to be really fancy. You can draw it out. You just need to identify, where this one shows in the middle, the creek bed. They've identified where the trees are going to go and the plants. Looks like they have some pavers there as well. And then they kind of point out where they're going to be using some, the mulch, things like that. So basically, it has to have like, these elements in your design. And the one that we provide through is a bit more professionally done, and so through Swazer, and you can sign up for that design. Next slide, please. So here's my contact information. Like I mentioned, for our free landscape designs, the company is called Swazer, Swayzer, Swazer. And just email me, call me, let me know, hey, Gus, I would like to get this free landscape design. Here's my name and address, contact information, and we'll get you on the list. So once we get Swayzer, we're amending their contract right now to have them, provide these residential. They've been providing public sector and commercial landscape designs. We've been working with the cities and businesses and others to provide designs, but we also want to include residents now in this landscape design portion. So that's great news. Um, okay, next slide.
No more, Jess.
What's that? Thank you. Thanks. Um, So when it comes to resources, there's also free classes that are available. Some of these are in person and some are virtual. You can see here we're going to have an in-person class at the Redondo Beach Library on March 11th, and you can go to this website, bewaterwise.com. I was thinking West Basin because you can also come to my website, westbasin.org, and you can learn about our classes, or they're all listed here as well at bewaterwise.com. And there's one on turf removal, garden transformation. Some of these, like I mentioned, are virtual. And yeah, there's a long list of these classes that you can look at if you're trying to, just to kind of get more information on how to create these gardens. Next slide, please. Okay. So we talked about measuring your landscape, getting your square footage, and then we talked about designing your landscape and how to do that. So the third step now is to apply for the rebate. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, yeah, thank you. So you're going to visit SoCalWatersmart.com and you're going to create an account there. It's very easy. I did it this morning just to test it. I went there and created an account, and it's like pretty simple to do. And you want to do this uh, to reserve your rebate funding. Next slide, please. You're going to be completing part one of the application, and then the items that they're going to are requesting is you need to upload five color photos of the areas where you have for the grass removal. So you want to take some photos of those areas. You're going to upload your landscape plan, your drawing, your design, and then a photo or a copy of your most recent water bill. So you're going to be uploading this into that account, and then you're going to wait for them to review everything and then approve it. And once they approve it, they're going to give you 180 days or 6 months to complete your project. And then, after you complete your project, you're going to be ready to request your rebate. And you're going to complete part two of the application. It's the post project. You're going to request a rebate, and you're going to be uploading 8 completed photos of your completed project, any tree receipts you may have, and so final project details. And then once everything looks good, they're going to mail you the check. It could take anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks to for them to send you that check. Next slide, please. So here's a good example of some grass photos. You definitely want to kind of like zoom out a little bit. They want to see like part of the home or part of the walkway, the whole grass area. If you zoom into the grass, that wouldn't qualify because they don't know where that is at. you know, so um, so yeah. I think that's all I have on that. Yes. Next slide, please. So here's a few photos of some finished projects. You can see the one on the left there, beautiful plants. They use some mulch in their parkway there. That's the area between the sidewalk and the street. They removed the grass from that area. The middle one looks like they put in some DG, that tan colored sandy stuff. DG, it's decomposed granite. And so they use that. Looks like they got some succulents, um, some cacti maybe in there. I think it looks really nice. Then of course the one on the right is beautifully done with a lot of like flagstone and mulch and just really nice design, I think. So okay, next slide, please. Okay, so we're kind of at the end. So just wanted to like a final recap. Like I mentioned, step one, measure your landscape to get your square feet by visiting bewaterwise.com to request your free landscape survey. Step two is you developing your landscape design. You can do this yourself, or you can contact me and we'll send someone to create a design for you. And the company that we use, they're very familiar with MWD's requirements of the 3 plants per every 100 square feet, and or you can use a tree and the stormwater feature. And so they're very familiar with that with irrigation as well. I didn't talk a lot about irrigation, removing any overhead sprays or and putting in drip. Or if you do keep up some overhead, you can use some rotating sprinkler nozzles. More efficient irrigation equipment is what they're looking for. They're looking to conserve water um, with the irrigation system. And then let's see, that's the landscape design. Then three, apply for the rebate. I covered that. going to SoCalWatersmart.com, and then waiting for their approval before you start. So you definitely you do not want to remove your grass at all until you receive approval to start your project. Then you can go ahead and start your project, remove the grass, and do all that. And then at the end, you will upload your photos of your completed project and request the check. So I think it sounds doesn't sound too bad, right? But I know there's a lot there. There's a lot going on, right? There's a lot of steps and there's a lot of work, but I think it would be worth it to conserve water, remove the grass, have a beautiful landscape that you can enjoy. Um, so yeah, so I think at this time, Andrea, next slide, we can go ahead and open this up. I don't know if any questions came in through the chat, Andrea. But if not, we could try to open up the mics and see if anybody has any questions. Okay,
There was only one.
I see Larry has a question. Yes, Larry.
Hey, Gus. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate the update. Over the past, gosh, at least 3 years, I have attended several of these, thinking, okay, well, I'll get my act together. We'll get rid of the grass in front and back, and we'll get this done. And without the design assistance,
Yeah,
I just kind of said, it's just not worth it because I actually
yeah,
want that design help. So I appreciate that. But what happened during this time is, I guess it was like we started this roller coaster 4 years ago. I just said, drought tolerant, we're going there anyways. I'll just shut off the water to the grass. So we killed off the grass. And then since I procrastinated with no design help, I said, okay, well, we better reseed and bring the grass back for a while. And then I went through that same cycle 3 times. And just over a year ago, I asked at a similar event like this, I said, well, at this point, we were green, we were brown, we were green, we were brown. What can I do about photos when I apply? And they said, well, just go to Google Earth and or Google Street View and take some shots from that. So my long-winded question to you is, what do I do at this point? Because I actually have already shut off the water. And so, do I have to go, reseed again? It's really not that big of a deal because the yard doesn't take that long to get green, but it's kind of a waste of money
yeah,
and
yeah.
time to do that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Larry. I know a couple of years ago, maybe three, when we were in the drought, the bad drought, Metropolitan Water District, they were allowing kind of dead looking grass to qualify because they knew people were trying to conserve water, but they still wanted to do their projects. But now, the last 2 years, it's been raining so much, and they changed back to you must have green grass to qualify for the project. So I don't know if these recent rains have helped to bring it back to green. Um, but that's what they're looking for, Larry, now is green grass.
Okay, so can I just give you photos from a year ago when it was green, or do I have to actually go through the silly step? It's obvious what I'm doing to make it green if I seed it again. But can I give you? I have some really nice photos that we actually
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
company come out and take photos of
Well,
our outside.
so the company, the agency who's running the program is the Metropolitan Water District. They're the big agency in Southern California. They're running the rebate program. West Basin, we do add some funding through our grants that we get to the rebate, but they have a company called EGIA that runs the rebate. They administer the rebate program. They receive the photos, applications, and they run that website, the SoCal Water Smart. That's where you apply, SoCal Water Smart. And so that's where you upload your photos and your water bill, your design, and all that. So it's kind of their program. So I would say, do give it your best shot. Do I really can't give you an answer, Larry, but I say upload your photos and what you have, and yeah, give it a shot and see if you could qualify.
Okay, and the last question is, that's what my plan is going to be for that aspect, and
Okay.
I'm going to take advantage of the offer of hopefully getting your designer out here. The designer's going to come out, and he's not going to see it green at the time he's here. I can explain everything to him anyways, but is he still going to be able to do his part of the process?
How much grass I mean, do you have grass, Larry? Any grass there?
Yes, some certainly more so in the back than the front right
Okay,
now,
okay,
but the front is a
okay.
larger patch. They're
And you
both they're both.
and you have do you have sprinkler systems? You have
Oh yeah.
overhead spring. See that? I mean, you're a great candidate. I mean, if and you may instead of you reseeding and say you didn't we said no, you probably would reseed and bring the grass. And that's not what we want. We don't want you to bring the grass back and to use overhead sprays and waste water and all that. So I definitely would want you to qualify to create a low water use, garden. So I'll definitely let the landscape designers know that too. That we don't want residents to go back to putting in grass and all that. So I say we try to give that a shot. What city do you live in, Larry?
I'm in the severe fire hazard area of RPV.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. You are in my service area, RPV. Yeah. So
Yeah.
definitely, okay, yeah. So yeah, hope that answers your questions. Go ahead and apply. Yeah, and email me your contact info and all that, and we'll get you on the list for the landscape design.
And I actually think our SB Cog person tonight is going to forward it to you because I already
Oh,
chatted
okay.
back and forth with her.
Oh, good, good,
Okay, great.
Andrea.
Thank you.
I'm typing it right now, Garcia.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Thanks, Gus.
Sure, you're welcome, Larry. Let's see. Are there any other questions? You can just
You
go
want to say
ahead.
something, Jane?
Yeah, you can just go ahead and ask away.
You have to unmute Jane.
Uh,
There you
did-
go.
okay. So we use with Swizer people to come out, and he did a beautiful landscape design for us in our 2,324 square feet. But Julie just wants to remove a very small portion of the grass. It's about 66.67 square feet. So that's all that we're going to remove. But what she plans to put in there are two 10 by 40 foot planters raised 2 feet high with native plants in those planters, drip irrigation. And I think around the planters, she's planning to put gravel or DG. So does that qualify to be doing planters?
That's an interesting question, Jane. I'll have to actually look into that for you, if that's okay.
Yeah,
So
please.
you're talking. So I didn't see that on their list for
I didn't either.
qualifications. So you're talking about two raised planters.
Right, two
Okay.
10 by 40 foot raised planters.
Okay. With drip irrigation and
Yes,
then gravel like around them.
I think that's what she has in mind. This is
Okay.
a scout project, so we have to
Okay.
draw it as well.
Yeah. And under the planters, I mean, in that area, is there grass in that little area?
There is grass now.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
will remove
So this
grass.
would be replacing the grass.
Right,
It's different because it's up in the air now, right? You got these
right.
planters. It's not actually in the ground, but that's why I need to find out because this is a little different. So I'll get back to you on that one, Jane.
And when I tried to put in, so when I did the application and it asked me how big our property was, I did the 2,324, that the landscape architect had given us on that plan. And then I put in that we were only removing 66.67. And the site wouldn't take either number. It kept saying I had to have a numeric number. And as far as I know, those are numeric numbers. So I don't know.
Yeah, have you tried to call them?
I will.
Okay, yeah, there's a phone number on that website. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
maybe
did.
maybe someone can help go into your account and maybe they can help
Like
change some of
that.
that information, because you
Okay.
submitted it one way and now you're trying to change it. So I would definitely try to get their help on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, if you could just send me,
Yes,
do you have my email?
I
Well,
do. I
I have
do.
it, Jane.
yeah.
I have it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
If you can give me a couple of days, I'll get you an answer on that, Jane.
I'll let Julie know to hold off. And then of course we were going to put in probably 20 plants, so more than the 3 per 100 square feet. But
Okay, that's fine.
I assume
Yeah.
that's okay since it's a
Yeah.
plant.
Yeah. Yeah. They just wanted a minimum of three per every 100 square feet because years ago, people were just putting in gravel yards and it wasn't looking good. And so that's why MWD changed their requirements because they want to see some plants,
Nice.
a
Good.
nicer looking design. Yeah. So,
Okay.
okay.
Thank
Thank,
you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Andrea, is there any more questions or you think that's it?
I think that's
Okay.
it.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Nice
Thank you
meeting
so much for
everyone.
doing this.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Good luck with your projects. You're welcome. All right. Bye everyone.
Bye. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
Wonderful
help.
evening.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jane.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.